Greetings metalheads, welcome to another edition of Friday the 13th YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing if you have. Please share on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram the interviews. So, today you're going to be watching an interview with Jasun Tipton from the progressive metal band 0 Hour, who have just released their new album on Frontiers called Agenda 21. It's a great album, check it out. It's a must for all progressive metal fans. So thanks for watching, be safe, and thank you Jasun for doing the interview. Stay metal metalheads. Right, we're talking to Jasun from 0 Hour. Jasun, long time no see. Hope you're well. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, man. Right on, man.
Yeah, and the last time we did an interview was for the fanzine back in, oh God, I think it was for the third album.
No, yeah, it was for Towers.
Yeah,
it was like back in 2001, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So you've been like kind of like busy and not busy, and you and your brother.
Right. Life just kind of takes control of your destiny at that point, so you just don't know. You're just holding on for the ride, you know. So yeah.
I'm going to ask you a warm-up question first, because I don't think I asked you this back in the day. What guitarist inspired you to become a guitarist? Because like your brother plays bass and you're the guitarist. So tell me a little bit about that.
You know, well, there was a few guys. I mean, Richie Blackmore was pretty much the guy at the beginning, because we were just always following Rainbow at the time. And Richie was like, obviously he's on stage. He had great presence, you know, real showman, and obviously an amazing player. And then it just kind of grew. I mean, I the first album I bought, way back when was like Jimi Hendrix Experience. So I was into guitar playing pretty much right away. And then David Gilmour was a big deal for me. And it just grew, to basically where then John Sykes, Gary Moore, all these other guys came into play. And then came the Shrapnel Invasion, where you have Jason Becker, Paul Gilbert, Marty Friedman, Richie Kotzen. I mean, it was abundance of guys. And of course you have to put Yngwie in there as well. I mean, he, lots of great players out there. And then Buckethead and Pat Metheny. The list could go on and on forever, as we all know. Yeah.
When you think about shrapnel bands, which ones were your favourites? And I'll say what my favourites were. Let's see if we have the same interests.
Well, obviously, Racer X and Cacophony were probably the best that I thought of the band, that I enjoyed the most. So of the groups, it would be those two for me.
Right, I was a big Cacophony, Apocrypha fan. I thought
Apocrypha was an amazing band too. I mean, obviously, The Eyes of Time, that second album, was awesome. Now, The Forgotten Scroll was cool, but you could tell there was still something coming up with these guys, and I really think that second album was just outstanding. I dug that.
Did you ever see them live? Did they actually tour? Because
they did actually tour. I didn't catch them. I was no, unfortunately, they played the Stone in San Francisco, and I knew some friends of mine who they opened up for them and everything like that. And they did tour. They did a mini tour of sorts. Yeah, out here in the States.
I was really surprised that their singer Steve didn't audition for Judas Priest when Tim was auditioning, because that guy could have nailed it just like Tim.
Yeah, he is great. From what I was told, he's like a cover singer in Las Vegas somewhere. So I don't know. Yeah, but
what?
He had a great voice. I mean, especially on that second album. I mean, I even talked to Dino about it, Dino Alden, who was, doing some of the assistant engineering to all those albums.
Yeah.
And he said, just on that second album, he just came in with, like, there was the first album, but then it was like, oh my God, who's this singer now? I mean, like, he changed rapidly and grew. Steve, great singer.
Yeah. So I mean, your brother plays bass. Was bass guitar the first thing for your brother, Troy, or was it the other way around? You was playing bass and he was playing guitar, and then you just decided to switch?
Yeah. No, I mean, and believe it or not, my brother, he got into drums first. It was kind of interesting. So he did drums, but some friends of him were saying, "Hey, we need a bass player," and he's, "Oh yeah, I'll try and ask my parents for a bass." And so he got a bass, and that's how it started for my bro. I was actually doing piano and keyboards before. So I did that. That was like probably my first instrument, and then I got into guitar afterwards.
Okay, then. So who's the oldest, like the two twins, you and your brother?
I am. I'm 8 minutes older than him. Yeah.
Do you actually think alike?
Absolutely. Yeah. There was we would finish each other's sentences, and yeah, we have a lot of similarities, obviously, with music and everything that we enjoy. We're pretty similar, and I mean, obviously different at the same time. It's just crazy, but yeah, we're very intuitive to each other. Yeah, my
Right
brother.
then. So I'm going to talk about the first album. Now, you sent me this many years ago. This is the original version.
That's awesome.
That's worth some money, that now, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about that, because you put it out yourselves. Did it get re-released under the name of Metamorphosis?
Yeah, it did. So that to me is still like the demo CD. That's what made everything happen, because the other stuff we added for Metamorphosis was like something because we released it worldwide with Sensory at that time, but that one was all over the place through all like distributors, mail orders, and we sold a lot of those. Those went really well for us. So, and that's how, then labels started contacting us and wanting us to get signed. So that's when the band was really finding our sound, and we were just rehearsing like crazy. In those days, we were just rehearsing. We were recording off of we had an old ADAT system, and we were just putting 2 mics out there and recording what we were doing. And we found Dino Olden, who is, great sonically, just was like producing us and giving us the sound that we needed. That was a good time. That release took a long time to get done, in sense, because back in those days you had to drive an hour and a half somewhere to record at a studio, do the same thing, and then also finding time with the engineer to make it happen, because it was done at Dino's house. And so we were going through the motions, and then we had some guys like Matt Guillory and doing keyboards for us, and Phil Bennett, who is the keyboards for Starship. He did a song for us. So yeah, it was it's just what a crazy time period that was. And then that's when we just went on to Towers of Avarice after that.
So that actually is a demo with bonus tracks, the original one I have. Is that what it is?
Right. The one you have is the actual demo, and that I would love to release later on a just vinyl. That would be great.
You can have it for $400.
Right, exactly.
It's yours.
No, luckily I still have but I don't know how they do it these days. I still have the old DAT tape for it and everything,
Wow.
which is something you would need in order if you wanted to remaster it or something like that to put it on vinyl. So we've thought about that, but will it happen? I don't know. So we'll see.
So the next album, like I say, we did the Towers of Avarice. That's when we did the interview. So did that album actually sell well for you back then?
That one, it did good for us. Yeah, I mean, we did get royalty checks and things for it and everything. So it sold enough to where, the label was sending us something. No, we had a really good buzz on that particular release, and it did well for us in the progressive metal world. So, I would say it was our best seller by far. And, it was that's when we were really hungry. We had some success with the demo CD, because we sold quite a few of those on our own. And that's when we started having labels contacting us like crazy, saying, I think we had like 6 labels that we were talking to who wanted to put out our next release. And going through the battles of that, and then we signed with Sensory, and we were just really focused on making our own sound, because I think that's where we became Zero, our own sound. Not to say the self-title I'm very proud of that release, and that got us where we needed to be for the Towers of Avarice, because it was hard having a keyboard player in the band, and we were asking guys to help us out with that. And then at the time when we were thinking, let's just write it super heavy the way we like it, and then we'll add keyboards later. But then after we heard everything and the vibe of it all, we're like, we don't need to put keyboards to this. This is our sound. Let's stay with this. So Towers of Avarice really, that's the release that got the word out about us for sure. you know.
I mean, what other labels approached you? I guess Inside Out might have been one, and
It's one.
Keith Menz's label, CGZ.
Yeah, yep. There was both those. Leviathan. Um, there was even these other ones that were like these small German labels, like Metal Bastard or something. Just it was more than six, but I knew of like six that were like that I actually heard of.
So
Labels.
Leviathan Records was Dave Chastain's label, I believe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
And he was
right.
a really cool guy, really nice guy, really nice guy.
So
Yeah. Oh, and Limsh LMP was another. Yeah, there was a few. I mean, they're starting to pop up in my head. Yeah.
so how well did it sell for you, that album, Jason? Did it sell well?
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, the next time you did the Fragile Mind. I mean, that was still on Sensory Ken's label
Right.
as well. Yeah.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about that. Did that sell well as well for you?
That didn't sell as well. I mean, unfortunately, no, Towers was the best selling release we had, and Towers was a good selling release for us. Like I said, I mean, if you get royalty checks from the record label, your album's selling well, because that's the only one I ever got royalty checks for. Okay. And I talked to a lot of guys and they never see a royalty check for things. So for us, yes, Towers was good. A Fragile Mind, we had gone through the process where we had already had the material, written and recorded musically for years. And we were waiting on Eric, and Eric was having some issues with some things, dealing with personal stuff. And he maybe got half of the album like recorded, but we kept asking, hey man, could you get in the studio and get more? And unfortunately at that time, we just weren't having the communication. It was just a communication breakdown. And so there came to a point where it was also, we were a little bit of a financial problem to the record label. I mean, they had advanced us quite a bit of money, and, they didn't have product. So basically what happens is, we had to make a decision to move on. It was a hard decision. It was not, I wanted Eric to stay. I wanted that to happen, but it wasn't a healthy environment. We weren't getting anything done. And there is a point where you let things sit way too long, and then we brought in another vocalist, and then because this vocalist was different, we wrote a couple new songs and took a couple out that actually went to specs later on. So it wasn't really because we were going to call it re-evolution.
Right.
Or de-evolution was what that was going to be. Sorry, de-evolution. And for whatever reason, it just, we put it out, and I think we were just running on fumes at that point, because we had so much excitement and so much hunger from the first and second album. And when we wrote the music, we were hungry as well. But then you got to stall, and you're like, the vibe is kind of going away, and you're doing what you can to get things rolling. So A Fragile Mind, I mean, I think it sold okay as a release, because I mean, what we had from Towers of Avarice and our other album, because also they did release Metamorphosis, and that was selling good, but because that was out before A Fragile Mind. But A Fragile Mind did okay, but yeah, we lost some steam from that one.
So there's that cracks started to show in this album, and basically when they recorded and stuff.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said cracks started to show in this album with the singer Eric being not motivated enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was dealing with some stuff that I didn't even know at the time. I was reaching out to him, and I wanted to help him, but I think he had to go through it, I guess, in his own way, So I can't speak for him, but I know he, well, it's just one of those things that happen, right? So yeah. and then we just moved on. And then as soon as A Fragile Mind was done, we wanted to we were already starting on another release because we didn't want to go out with that one, even though we had some opportunities to go play some shows and everything. And that's when Specks of Pictures Burnt Beyond came in, and Chris Salinas comes in.
Yeah,
so,
Power of Omens.
Yeah, great guy.
Great singer, man. I was going to ask you, I mean, what happened to him? He did 2 albums with you, and I noticed that album, Spectres of Pictures Burnt Beyond, and Dark Deceiver were very dark albums for you compared to in the past.
We just went heavier. We went heavier, and, the first 2 releases had that 6-string sound. Well, then we were diving into 7-string, which had, and we were going darker, and, and Chris sounded amazing. And when he went out on the road with us, when we were out in Europe and playing festivals and whatever, he was amazing. Great singer.
I have actually got the video of the Prog Power with you guys on it, and his voice is incredible. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't he stay? What was the reason for him not staying?
No, it wasn't anything like that. We had to quit because my brother couldn't play bass any longer.
All right. Did he have some issues, health issues or something?
Yeah, he had the ulnar nerve entrapment surgery. My brother hasn't played bass for over 6 years.
Is that the tenders thing that the guitarists get a lot, where the fingers?
No, what happened was, that would be different. The ulnar nerve is, so my brother was doing bicep curls, and the ulnar nerve just basically broke and crushed his funny bone nerve. Ouch. So the actual nerve. And then what happened is he just wasn't getting anything going on with his arm. Nothing. It was just like flattening out on him. Just the circulation was gone, no feel. So he was doing shows with us, but man, it was getting worse and worse. And there was like to a point where he's like, I got to do something about this, And so he went to a Stanford doctor, and all I can recommend to anybody is, if you are going, understanding that when the doctors say they're going to do something for you, they're going to cure you, you're going to be back playing bass. Of course, you want to believe them and everything, and it could be a great, high-profile doctor, but get as many opinions as you can, before you do anything. And my brother went under the knife, and doctors had no idea how about physical therapy. They just have no insight of what's going on that direction. And unfortunately, my brother, he tried. We did other things afterwards, obviously, but we couldn't do 0 hour. And that's why we disbanded, because I didn't see why are we going to do 0 hour if my brother can't do it. And my brother still wanted to try to play bass, but we had to work around the problems. And so that's why that was it, for 0 hour at that time. And we went and did other things. So we did those 2 releases. And then I remember we just finished doing a festival in Germany, and we had to get into the studio like the week after. And after my brother recorded Dark Deceiver, his arm and everything was just completely shot.
That's a shame, man. So out of those two albums, which one's your favorite?
For me, I liked Specs, but my brother loves Dark Deceiver. So I guess my brother and I are not identical in that way. So yeah, I loved The Evidence of the Unseen was just a killer track for me. There's killer tracks obviously on Dark Deceiver. They're both different animals. That was a good thing, at least those 2 releases we did with Chris and everything, they were different animals. They were still heavy and everything, but there's some cool differences between those 2.
So that's the reason why you guys broke up, because of your brother's health issues?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it, man. I didn't see why carrying on, because, he was a main writer in this with me. And it just didn't see it happening.
Because you came back and you formed another band called, is it Synthesis?
Synthesis. So we did Synthesis. No problem. And we did Synthesis, and but as you can hear, it's very different. Also, we brought Sean Flanagan in, who's an amazing talented drummer, drummer for Enchant. And there's no double kick or anything in that release. It's a lot of groove and a lot of different uh, just different in a melodic sense. You know, I mean, it was a very cool release, and that's where we were connected with Eric as well, which was great. And we did that, and yeah, that was a good experience for that one. And then we did Re-Evolution after that, so we did do a couple releases, and that's some great material right there. Just different from Zero Hour, because Zero Hour is very double bass driven and has a metal aspect. This was more, I guess, lending to the prog area.
I mean, when I listen to Zero, I always think of like bands like Sarcotic Waltz, Mekon Delta, Watchtower.
Sure.
It was really heavily involved sort of band like Power of Omens. I mean, Power of Omens were a great band, but I always thought the drummer let the band down because he was trying to do too much, and I thought the album just suffered. He was just trying to be like an octopus.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a very insane drummer. And I know Alex. Yeah, and I don't think Alex. I don't know. I'm sure Alex is doing something else. I haven't talked to Alex in a long time. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's you would hear that from reviews, but then you would also hear people like praising him as well. So that's the great thing about music. I mean, there's so much variety, and you just figure out what you enjoy and you go towards that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I loved Power of Omens as well.
Yeah, so I mean, talking about the tours that you did, apparently you played in Iceland. I mean, why Iceland? Why did you not come to the UK? I would have been at the show if you'd have been.
No. I mean, well, we were talking to do Prog Power UK at some point. John, who's a super great guy, who was running the events and everything.
I only went to the second one because they only did two, and then it folded.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, no, I would love to have done something there, but, we had a great promoter in Iceland, actually, my brother Thor. He was a great guy. And we did a couple great dates there. I mean, it was packed shows, and we had an amazing time, in Iceland. That was one of my favorite experiences with Zero Hour. And I mean, we'll go play anywhere if we're accommodated correctly. You know what I mean? It's, you get a lot of offers, and some of the offers, it's like you have to, sometimes they're saying like, it looks okay, but then you have to dig into your pockets a little bit. And I don't want to do that, So, I mean, there are moments where you have to pay your dues and things like that. But yeah, I would love to, but who knows what the future brings? Get out to the UK now, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get me on tour when you're doing merch or drum secking if you do come over. I mean,
there you go, but
this new album, you should be touring at some point very soon.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, you broke up, Jason. Like your brother went and did his own band called The Dying Planet. What happened there? Is it just something he wanted to do on his own?
Oh, well, we were both involved in that one.
Right.
A Dying Planet is so A Dying Planet, and we did a second release, and we got a new singer. I mean, I just wanted to have my brother involved with that one, but my brother was singing. He sang on 3 tracks, and he wrote the lyrics to pretty much everything except Poison the Wells, which was featured Eric on that. And no, I mean, I absolutely love doing A Dying Planet. That's a great, Zero Hour, and then you have A Dying Planet. It's a great mix.
I mean, I reviewed your latest album.
Oh, cool.
So if you haven't seen it, I'll send you the link so you can check it out.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, and I saw that you sent me a link to the new release too, because I saw you did, but I couldn't find it for whatever reason. But yeah, no, I mean, A Dying Planet, yeah, we were both involved in that. I actually started it out by writing all the music, and then my brother started hearing it, and he's like, man, I would like to sing over it. I said, well, that would be great. Go for it. And he did, and he sounded great, and I loved his lyrics. If you listen to his lyrics, it's talking about him and what he went through. You know what I mean? So it was very personal, and I loved how that came out. Then we got signed and everything went great with the latest release and stuff. So yeah, it's Life Force Records is a great company that we got signed with, and Stefan Company, they treat us good, and we put out the release with them.
I
Yeah.
mean, the stuff that you do with Dying Planet's a lot more mellower than Zero.
Yeah.
It's more like Floyd Opeth, but a little bit more heavier.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess it's for people that don't want to listen to intense 0 hour stuff that want to chill a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's a different side for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So that, Jason, I'm going to ask you about the new album then. So, and is it? Oh God, I can't say the name of the album. Agenda 21, is it?
Agenda 21.
Agenda
Yep.
21. Sorry.
That's the one then.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, how did you get with the lineup then? Because you say like Eric's come back, and then you've got like other members in the band. How did you find the latest members?
Yeah. Well, I was Rule was performing, and I caught a show of him, and then we chatted up because I knew Rule from before. The whole band stayed at my house. The guys from Suncage when we supported for Liquid Tension Experiment.
They were a good band. Suncage.
Yeah,
really good.
absolutely. And all those guys are great musicians. And so we became friends. Real great guy, very passionate, obviously, absolutely insane drummer, great drummer. And he just made a mention to me. He's like, "Hey man, if you have any interest, if you're going to do something, if it's like 0 hour or something, I'll play drums on it." I thought, oh, well, that just lit everything up because I hadn't been really thinking about 0 at all, but that just kind of started the spark of everything. Because then I said, if I do it, I'm going to do it with this guy. This is, and then things started coming together where I saw something where Eric made a post on Facebook, reflections from 0 hour and saying, "Hey, anybody looking for a singer?" Ha ha, jokingly. And I contacted him and I said, "Hey man, I know of a great drummer, and I'm thinking, if we do this, I want to do it right, where we could actually, play live and do anything to support the release. If you're in, let me know. If not, I completely understand." And he said, "Yeah, no, let's do it. That would be great." And then Rule was really instrumental in bringing Andreas in, who's just a monster bass player, super passionate musician, a great guy. Really have an amazing bunch of guys in the rhythm section there. Those two guys are just awesome. So he said, I could talk to Andreas. And I said, yes, please do that. And that's how just everything came together with bringing these members in. And these guys, Rule and Andreas, were just on top of it.
So is Andreas also from Suncaged?
No, Andreas is from Seventh Wonder, is his band.
Swedish band, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, great band.
What happened to Mike, the old drummer? Did you not ask him to come back to the band? What was the reason for not asking
No,
him?
Mike is on to his life. Mike and I had been together for such a long time. I mean, a long time. And then he moved away. He moved, him and his wife moved, I think, like a couple hours away. And I just think it was just the beginning of like, I had been with Mikey is an amazing drummer, amazing person. I love the guy. And I just think it just was, when I was going to do this and when Raul mentioned something, it just kind of sparked that. That's when everything actually sparked. So no, I didn't ask Mikey or anything because wasn't even thinking about 0 hour. But, my brother was going to be involved anyways. He wasn't going to be in 0 hour. And I felt like, well, it would be probably good to get some new blood in here.
Just to give a different sound or a different spice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just also back in the day with Mikey and I, we had to always rehearse. You just don't have the time to do that any longer. I mean, I can't go into a studio and like, hey, let's rehearse these parts out. I could just record it, what I'm writing into the computer. I send it to Raul and things get done, and Mikey he didn't get into that technology or anything like that. So it just would have been, the path just chose a different way, you know what I mean? And Mikey is amazing, and we had a great long period of time doing it together, but I think it just was time to do something different.
Okay, then. So the title, Agenda 21. Who came up with the title, and what other titles did you have for this new album?
Yeah, well, yeah, Eric did all the lyrics, and he's the one with the storyline. If you asked me to talk about the storyline, I would destroy it because, you
What's
know,
the album in case people don't know?
yeah, awesome. There it is. And, you know, Eric would be the one that would have the best way of telling you about the storylines of all that. Four of the songs connect into a story, but the other couple are their own thing. So it's not a concept or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, then. So the album, like you say, who produced the album? Was it yourself, or was it?
Well, I produced it, and then I guess you know, all of us kind of produced it in some way. I mean, but it started with me laying everything down, and of course, you know, they wrote their own parts. I mean, because they wrote and arranged, like, you know, you had Roel did his drum stuff, and Andreas wrote his stuff. You know, so to give them the freedom to do that because they're better suited for that. You know, that's their expertise. And then Eric went in and did his thing. And then I guess sonically, you know, Kai was awesome. But, you know, Kai was who mixed and mastered the material. I think it's Cole Keller Studios in Germany. Guy is amazing. I highly recommend him. He's amazing. And we'll. I mean, I look at this time when we do our next one. I look to do it with him again.
So who's he worked with then? Which bands has he worked with?
He's worked with a lot of people, but you know, I'm terrible when you ask me things like that. So he's worked with a lot of people. I know he's worked with a lot of bands who were on Metal Blade or, you know, many different. But you know what? I'm terrible with keeping up with all that stuff. Yeah, but he's Kai Stallenberg. He's amazing. Check him out.
I mean, this album's only got 6 songs. When you look at it, you think, oh, it's an EP. It's gone back to the first album, but it's a long EP.
Yeah, 50 minutes. That would be a very long EP. So, yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it's a great, yeah. It's just kind of our style. That's how we do it. I mean, the first song is like 15 minutes. So it gets you going right away with what the experience is for.
Do you have any favorite songs then, Jason, from this new album?
I will. It's hard because all of them, I love all of them. And I know guys say that all the time, but Democide was the first one I wrote. And for me, that was the important one because that was kind of setting the table of how this release was going to come together, the material. So Democide has something special because it's like, all right, that was the first one back. I'm totally feeling the vibe, so everything else came together easily. So for me, that would be one. Stigmata is amazing too because that was the only one that had a little bit of stuff that my brother and I worked on a long time ago. Now I had to rearrange it in some way and everything, but that was something that luckily I still had in my computer, and then. Roel helped me out with the arrangement because there was we had kind of a weird arrangement and we put it together correctly. And so that one is, you know, and I'm here, but you know, it's so crazy. The last one, Patient Zero, that seems to be a lot of people's favorite off the album, the last one. I think that's awesome. I'm a little shocked by it. You know what I mean? And I love that one, but I was like, I'm not sure if people will translate to people the way I hear it, you know, but luckily I'm seeing a lot of people saying that that's their favorite tracks in the reviews. So I'm really happy with that. So that just tells you, because all the songs are super strong.
Right. I mean, we're going to time out in 3 minutes. So if we do, Jason, if you can send us an invite on Facebook and we'll try continuing it. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about the Democide. It's a weird title. I mean, Democide, what is it?
Democide? Well, I mean, again, that would be something Eric would know better about and everything. But, well, I love some of the lyrics when you go 2x2 and 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, you die. You know what I mean? 6 by 6 by 6, you die. So I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to attempt to do that because I'll leave it up to the listeners to what they think is,
it's a hell
have
of
them
a,
go on the journey.
it's a really good name for a death metal band.
Oh, I mean, I love the name Democide. So I mean, and the track is just killer. So yeah. So, but I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what the lyrics are because I'll chop them up and everything like that.
So how long did it take to record this album, Jason?
The music went fast. It was quick. I think the music went pretty quick. I mean, I think we had it all done in about 4 months, and that's pretty quick considering that we're sending it to places. I mean, because obviously you have Roel in the Netherlands, and then you have Andreas in Sweden. So we were going through a whole that process. But yeah, I would say 4 months for that. And then when Eric came aboard, that took a little while. So that took over a year with Eric's process. So I guess it took 2 years, I would say.
Okay, then. So who did the artwork for this album? Are you happy with the artwork?
Oh, yeah. Henry Marino, my buddy, did a fabulous job. Henry is an amazing guy. He was the drummer for Magica back in the day. And he's got Mind Fury is his new band. Great drummer and just a really talented individual.
Is Magica the band that was signed to Massacre Records back in the late early 90s, a bit like Yngwie Malmsteen sort of style?
I don't think so.
I
mean, these guys are thrash. They're thrash.
Right,
so
okay.
Yngwie would definitely not be. Yeah, but no. I mean, I think they were signed to somebody, but it's escaping me who they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. So we was talking about the new album,
yeah,
Agenda 21. So we talked about the songs and the album, the artwork. So how do you see this album as a progression from your previous albums with 0 Hour?
Well, I mean, I wanted to go back to the first 2 releases, back to the 6-string vibe that we have. But obviously, I'm a different player now. So I wanted to add those elements somewhere in it as well. But wanted to stay true to what 0 Hour was about because it was all about riffing and just having a constant riff after another, just kind of overlaying. And then with the rhythm section we have, Roel just being the beast he is, that changed the sound. And then Andreas brilliantly doing his thing. I just feel like, it's just been a new progression and a new sound of what we were trying to do, of what we were all about with the Towers of Avarice. That's where I wanted to go back with. So
right.
I just feel it was a bit actually it's a pretty natural progression because it was something that I'm not foreign of. I've done this before, but now I've had many years to kind of have a clear head to go in and with the writing process. And my writing process is different, but then was like channeling back to my Towers of Avarice thing. So it was just building a mix of like old me and new me. So that was it, Yeah.
So basically, because the Towers of Avarice was the most successful album, you decided to kind of catch that vibe in the new album?
It was also my favorite release. It was, there was something special about that release. Yeah. And, of course, you move forward with things and your material and you kind of go back, it would have been cool if we would have just stuck with our 6-string kind of thing. But we also wanted to expand as a band, get into other things, you know what I mean? Because at the time, you're thinking, well, what can we add? What other elements and things of that nature? But you know what? If you're a band, try not to overthink things too much. Just, there's something you dig and it's your style. There's a reason for that. Just go for it. Don't overthink everything.
Yeah, okay then. So, a lot of people probably say to you, why have you not picked a American drummer and bass player? Why do you go to Europe and Scandinavia?
No, easy. They're great players, these guys. Now, to say, it's also really cool that, I always dug the thing when, like, Dio did his thing when he did the first album, Holy Diver and everything, when he had two European guys, and then you have two Americans. I thought, it would be best if we are going to do something like that to have have the rhythm section be that way. And then we have Eric and I. So I think it's the best of both worlds right there. Yeah.
So basically, you're getting like a European vibe, Scandinavian vibe mixed with American, so you get more influences, you think?
I think, yeah. Also, it's just, I don't know. I think as musicians, we do have our similarities in what we like, but there is there's some great vibes going out in Europe, obviously, you know what I mean? So it's, so I was really excited to see, bringing the two worlds together for us with 0 Hour and seeing how that all came out and translated. And it was nice because it was good to get good feedback from Raul as well and things like that. So, because Raul was the guy I was leaning on. Usually it was my brother. So it was a little different this time. Yeah.
Okay then. So, like I said to you earlier on, your influences have got to be people like Watchtower, Siege Even, Mekon Delta, Psychotic Waltz, as opposed to the Dream Theater bands, because you're a more complex band, aren't you, and a bit more intense at times.
I would say, Dream Theater was huge influence for us. Well, it was a huge influence of like Cynic. My brother did love Watchtower and Doug and all that. And I know Ron. Ron's great, and I did like Watchtower, but I was, but Dream Theater, Cynic, Meshuggah, Pat Metheny. I was thinking of it in all sorts of areas because if you think about Pat Metheny and when he did the Travels release, his live on, there's long compositions on there, and it's very progressive in places. So you're just adding as many elements that you take from what you enjoy in many genres. And that's the beauty about progressive metal. It's very free. You could add whatever the heck you want in there, Yeah.
Yeah, like you said about Cynic, I remember, which I actually still have the tape. I have the original demo that Cynic did before the album came out, Focus.
Oh, yeah.
And the vocals are totally different. The vocals are death metal, but when the album Focus came out, it was kind of electronic vocals. I was like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I remember the demo, and that had like Tony Choi on it and everything. So I totally remember that. Yeah,
I thought the demo was better to some aspect because the vocals are more accessible, but the album was a bit weird vocal wise.
Yeah, I liked both, honestly. So I was like into it all, And the latest release that Cynic did is amazing. I really enjoy that one. So yeah,
it's kind of weird because I saw Watchtower support Coroner in the UK. I think it was 1990 or 1989.
Oh wow! Awesome.
And I used to be. I'm still good friends with Alan, the singer, because I used to be friends with Hades.
Yeah.
But they did a cover of Madonna's "Like a Virgin" live, and it was really fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it, but it was just like totally bizarre.
Well, I know they did like also a Billie Jean cover. They've done some really cool stuff. I got Watchtower. I remember when we were playing the Headway Festival, and I was the one to contact Ron and say, Ron, you got to do this festival, man. Get Watchtower to do it, and they did. So that was cool.
Was that with Doug on bass still?
Doug was on bass.
Wow, yeah. I used to know him many years ago. I used to write
and that was with Jason on vocals.
Jason McMaster.
Yeah, not Alan.
So then, Jason. So the deal with Frontier Records, how did it come about, and what other labels did you approach?
Oh, with Frontiers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, didn't have any approach with it kind of, my buddy Wayne Joyner, who's amazing. I know he does all the videos for like Dream Theater, the live stuff you see, and Devin Townsend and Ariel. The guy is just absolutely amazing, but he's been my friend for the longest time. And he just said, hey man, he was the one to get me in touch with Frontiers. Elio was a fan of 0 Hour back in the day. And he says, I'm going to introduce you to these guys. And that's really just how it came about. We didn't shop it or anything like that. It just kind of came that way. And there was really nice excitement from Frontiers. And they were right away when I sent them Democide. because we had a rough recording of that. He said, love it. We're going to send you a contract tomorrow, so be on the lookout. And it was like that. They just wanted in right away. You know, I mean, because there have been times where in the past we deal with labels and they say, yes, we want to do this. We'll send you out a contract. And you don't get the contract till 2 weeks later. And then you go into the negotiation game. I mean, it could be a dragged out process. You know what I mean? But this was like, let's do it. And right now, I mean, I have a beautiful little girl and a family and things like, I mean, I don't have time, you know, to just say, hey, let's go shop it and take our time and do that stuff. You know, that didn't sound appealing to me at all.
So, I mean, when you did sign to this label, I mean, Frontier Records are a great label, as we all know, but they used to be catered for more AOR, hard rock. You must have thought, oh shit, what are they going to do for us?
Yeah, but the thing is, they were very passionate about what we're about, you know, and then they were signing, you know, they have other bands, you know, like Fond and Plaus and Circus Maximus, and I mean, they do have other progressive acts on there that I was noticing. I was like, oh, wow, and stuff. So why not? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, they've got two really good bands that they've signed up in the last 2 years. A band called Terra Voida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is like Steve from Testament and Death and the guys from Spiral Architect. That is a fantastic album.
Yeah.
If you've not heard it, you've got to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then they've just signed a band called Lalou from France. That album's really good.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't heard of both. Yeah.
I mean, they could be great two bands for you to tour with being on the same album.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I caught the one video from Lalou, and that was absolutely outstanding stuff. Great stuff. And I mean, like I mentioned, I mean, I think they were a good place for us, a good fit.
Right then, so if you don't mind me asking, how long is the contract with Frontiers?
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, we're there for like 4 releases, so we have a few more releases we got to hit out with them and everything like that. If, you know, hopefully that the band is strong and we're all healthy and we can do it, then hey, cool. There you go.
Great. So when you get a chance to tour, do you think you could be touring Europe and the UK sometime this year?
I would love to. I mean, we just got some opportunities to do. Unfortunately, it came too quick. We got asked to do a festival and things, and unfortunately, because some of the other guys are in other bands, and so we have to work out our schedules and kind of put it together. But yeah, it won't be immediate, but I definitely see something happening. Yes.
So whereabouts? Who do you think? I mean, where was this festival that you were supposed to be playing that you couldn't do? Where was it? Which
oh
festival?
Man, I don't know if I should. You know, I mean, well, they want us for next year, so I'm not going to say really where it. You know, what I mean, because it's not my place to do that, and people put 2 and 2. You know, they put things together pretty quick.
Well, I hope it comes off, and I hope you play the UK because, like I said,
I would love to. Yeah, that would
great to finally meet up with you at some point. You know,
absolutely,
like we've known each other for such a long time, but never had the opportunity to meet.
Right.
So, if you had the opportunity to tour with somebody within reason, who would you like to tour with? Which
Dream Theater. Dream Theater.
Right do you know those guys at all?
Unfortunately, no, I don't. No, I mean, no, I don't. I mean, but I mean, when Images and Words came out, I mean, I couldn't stop playing that thing. That was, you know, they were the definition of progressive metal. That's how it all happened. I mean, I know there were other bands you could say and everything, but those are the guys. You know what I mean?
What about people like Fate's Warning or
something? I love Fate's Warning and things like that, but I'd still pick Dream Theater.
Yeah.
There's no question. I would pick Dream Theater. Yeah.
Are you playing the Prog Power at all in the US? Because I know you played it a few years ago, didn't you, with Chris on vocals?
We've played 3 Prog Power USAs.
Okay.
I could see that happening in the future. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
So are you making any more promo videos for this album? And if so, which song will it be? Because I know you've only released 1 at the moment.
Actually, we have 3 out there actually. So there's the actual video, but which is Technocracy, and then we have Democide, which has like the 4 of us, you know, 4 camera angle where we're playing that, you know, to the track. And then there's a drum playthrough of Stigmata. And really, that's it. You know, I mean, we do have some other drum videos that we may be putting out there. But, yeah, no, we got 3 out there right now that you can see on YouTube.
So do you think that you guys could be doing a live DVD in the very near future now you sound with Frontiers? Is there anything?
I have you know what, man? I really don't know about that. But, I mean, I'm not against anything like that. But, yeah, but I have nothing telling me we're going to do that in the near future. No, at this time.
Do you think it'd be quite difficult for you to play with Zero and The Dying Planet on the same bill? Like if you did a tour together, do you think that'd be difficult for you to do?
For me, I just wouldn't enjoy that. No, I wouldn't enjoy that. I mean, because, I just want to do one, put all my energy into something like that and do it right. You know, I don't mind going out and touring with either band, but to do both on the same thing, that would be stretching it for me. You know what I mean? Because that's just, I just want to pour my energy in whatever I'm doing at that time and not kind of worrying about the other thing. No.
Okay, then. So what sort of album reviews have you been getting since the release of the album?
They've been really good. I mean, my brother has sent me, we got a 94, a 92, you know, a 91, a 85. I mean, it's been very positive so far. And, we're very pleased with that, and we're getting good press. I mean, we're out in some of the magazines out there right now. So, it's circulating, and hopefully that just continues, man. That's what we look forward to.
Well, you've got my back anyway.
Dude, you're amazing. Totally appreciate it, man.
I was quite, when I heard you'd reformed, I was like really excited. I thought, oh shit, brilliant, they're back together. You know, what's it going to be like? And then I pick it up, it's like 6 songs, is that it?
Yeah, but we've been kind of like that always in the past. I mean, you know, we've always had like long songs, and I think even the Towers of Avarice, I mean, gosh, you know, of course it's not in front of me, so I don't remember but you know, I don't remember how many, you know, I'm really bad with that stuff. So I don't know. I always thought we kind of like 6 to 8 songs is kind of where we're at, because we always did long tracks. You know, Demise and Vestige was that was another 15-minute track. So we had long tracks. Yeah.
Did you have any guests on this album for people that haven't picked up the album yet? Is there any guests on this album? Or
no, not on this one. No.
Did you consider using anybody on this album?
No.
No.
Yeah.
All right then, Jason. I'd like to thank you for the interview. So,
right on, bro.
Thank you much again. So, do you have anything to say to the people that'll be watching this on YouTube?
No, thank you for the support, and please check out our release. And hopefully, we'll be, when we get out over to your way playing a show, come out and see us. That would be great.
Brilliant. Okay then, Jason. Have a nice day.
Sounds good, man.
Cheers, Jason.
Have a good one, bro. Peace.
Hey, brother. Speak, sir. Bye.
I will, Ben.
Thank you, mate. Bye.
Bye.